In my first 3 years of trading, I wasn't profitable. I blew accounts, I doubled accounts, and I gave it all back. And it happened more than once. I thought I had it figured out multiple times, but I hadn't. And here is what surprised me the most. My trading strategy was actually working. Why did it take me 3 years to become consistent? Today, I'm going to tell you the truth. And if you are struggling right now, you might recognize yourself in this story. Before we start, if you are serious about becoming a disciplined trader and you are not chasing hypes or consuming dopamine, subscribe to this channel. I will share with you 10 years experience in trading, real trades, and professional strategies. And no fantasies, no magic signals. Now, let me tell you what really happened. Phase 1, the excited beginner. I began trading Forex using indicators, all of them. RSI, MACD, candlestick patterns, all of them, breakouts, Fibonacci, and many more. I read almost every trading book, and I tried almost all the strategies I found. But I had no idea about liquidity. I had no idea about traps. I had no understanding about how markets behave sometimes. I didn't know what the market structure was. I started on a demo account and it felt quite easy, to be honest. That was the best part. Even if I had no idea about many things, but the start was quite smooth actually, and I started making profits. And I think that was actually the problem, because I was so confident that I jumped very, very quickly into a real account. I can still feel now how exciting it was to trade with the real account. It was a small one, but I blew it. And I opened a second one and I blew it again and again and again. And why? Why did it happen? Well, first of all, no patience, no consistency. I was just trying many things at the same time. So there was no real strategy and I had no real plan. To be honest, I did many crazy things. I left open trades overnight without a clear reason. I remember telling my wife that we made $200 overnight. This is amazing. From my current perspective, after 10 years experience, I realized that I was lying me. I was convincing me that that system was working, even if I hadn't enough data to know that actually. I traded multiple setups. I changed strategies constantly. I read lots of books, articles. I saw almost every video about trading. And when I finally found a working setup, I was so sure that that setup was going to work that I began to risk too much. So the problem was not the strategy. The only problem was me. Phase 2, emotional chaos. The problem was not the strategy. The problem was actually me. I was emotionally unstable. I traded everywhere, in a coffee shop, on the train, in many crazy situations. I was not happy at all. My surrounding was not happy at all. My family was really fed up. And then you start to be confused. You just start mixing up things. You cannot separate what is working from what is wrong in that moment. I began to react emotionally to every trade. And this is very important. When things went wrong, I didn't tell anybody. But I'm happy that I realized the problem that I had and began to look for a solution. I started trading more conservatively by taking profits faster, but that wasn't the right solution at all. So I thought it was one important thing to do that, but this was actually destroying my performance. So the thing was, cutting winners quickly wasn't really helping me. It was actually increasing the problem. I would let losers run, but close winners very fast. The exact opposite of what you should do. And the reason why this behavior happened was that I didn't know where the markets wanted to go. I didn't know what a market structure means. I didn't know what kind of target prices or entry points are the right ones and precise and have the right edge. I didn't know what was to be entering late in a trade. Phase 3, the trade that destroyed me. At some point, I had actually a good risk management. I was consistent, and for 2 months, I was profitable. Then, after around 50 trades, one thing happened. My strategy had been working so well that I thought, well, now I have to risk a little bit more. And I was so sure that that pattern, that trade, that context was the right one. And I increased my risk a lot. The trade started moving in my direction, but after a few minutes, it retraced back down. And suddenly I was down too much. I couldn't accept being wrong, and I didn't cut my loss. So I moved my stop loss. Probably you know this story because almost every trader in the world has experienced this situation at some point. And that single trade wiped out my entire account. So 2 months of pure discipline and good results were gone, were absolutely gone. And that's when I learned something painful, and it's that even the best trade can fail. So never say again, this trade is going to work, because it's not true. Trades can fail at some point, even if they are perfect. So this is the most important thing you have to learn if you want to be serious about trading. And there is one more thing. The market doesn't care about your situation, doesn't care about what happened to you last week, doesn't care about if you're a good guy or not. If that trade fails, the only person who is going to be damaged is you. So think about that and change your strategy, change your mind and your mindset when you enter a trade. The illusion of success. This is a very interesting one, you will see, because in this phase, it happened another situation which was really dangerous. I actually managed to double my account quite quickly, and I started to dream. It was a very successful month, and well, it's normal. You begin to dream, to think about what you could do with that money, how much money you could make. You start to tell your son what you could do with that money. You even start to promise things to your family because it's working. It's real. It happened. You got there. And this detail changed everything because I started to get emotionally attached to every trade, and every loss felt like a real problem. So that was the moment when pressure entered the game and changed everything. So the next month wasn't as good as I planned. And I tell you, I felt so stressed. So when trades didn't go my way, I forced them. I tried to recover losses quickly to stay on track with the plan in my head, actually. That was the main goal. I increased risk once again. Within a few trades, I lost almost 70% of my whole account. Yes, and I remember thinking, well, why is this happening to me? Because you think in that moment, why can't you be lucky for one time? Why is this happening to me? So that was the main sentence. I was trading with high expectations and not with probability. I was setting my target prices very far away from the real target price, so they were not realistic. Sometimes price got there and came back to me to the break-even point or even to the stop loss. So that's a typical thing, setting unrealistic expectations for every decision you make in trading. The most important thing, I was emotionally attached to every single trade because I had promised too many things to my loved ones. The turning point. That's when I changed something important. I started tracking every single trade, and every weekend when I had time, I started reviewing every single trade I had done the previous week. I also started trading in playback mode in order to train the precision of the entries, and also to train how to understand market structures and attraction points, and to be more realistic about target prices. And automatically pressure reduced. And one thing happened. I realized that my strategy, the strategy I had been using all the time, was really working. Today, after 12,000 hours trading in the market, after writing a book about what professional traders actually use, and after developing a strategy which is objectively profitable, I can confidently say this. I was the only one doing things wrong. The strategy itself was right. The strategy was never the main problem. It was over-risking, exhaustion, impatience, wanting quick results, emotional attachment to outcomes. I wasn't losing because I was bad at analysis. I was losing because I couldn't manage myself. So what finally changed? After 3 years, I understood the following things. My strategy was good, my risk management discipline was not good, and pressure was killing my performance. Before every trade, I asked myself, if I lose this money, am I completely comfortable with it or not? If the answer is no, I automatically reduce size. I also reduced my strategies to 1 or 2 strategies in order to be more focused when I trade. No more strategy hopping, no more excitement trading, no more studies of new indicators or fancy tools or fancy platforms, nothing. And I stopped treating trading as something that has to work immediately. I made it secondary, and this decision made me more calm, more precise, and emotionally detached. And suddenly, consistency appeared. If you're not profitable yet, it might not be your strategy. It might be your risk management, your emotional control, your need for fast results. As you have heard many times probably, trading is not about being right, about your ego having the right answer in every single second. It's about surviving long enough for your edge to play out. It took me, unfortunately, many painful years to understand that and to fix that. And if my painful experiences saves you even one blown account, then those 3 years were definitely worth it. If you want to see my strategy and the 6 step I use every day, take a look at this video and see you next time. Please subscribe if you're interested in more content about real trades and professional strategies. I would be very happy to hear from you.